Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Leader Tree, where leadership grows, where strong roots build stronger skills, and where I'm back. Sorry I missed you all last week. I missed you so much, but I had laryngitis, so there's nothing I could do there. I couldn't speak. So hopefully you had a little best of the greatest hits from the past there to keep you entertained. But I want to make up for it and talk about some important things today. So we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of my clients struggle with. And if you're listening to the Leader Tree, then you're either an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur, most likely. So you're looking for information about your business and how to better your business, how to, get more going for yourself, for others around you, and to lead in the marketplace. So, one of the best things to do is to make sure you're separating your business and your personal credit. This is a critical step that a lot of young entrepreneurs overlook. And even some seasoned professional entrepreneurs overlook this too. And they get in the habit of using their personal credit for everything. So what happens is you tie your personal credit to everything your business does. What happens if your business goes under? What happens if disaster strikes in the economy and it drives you out of business, as happened last year, for example? Your credit is ruined. You can't let that happen to you, okay? So it's very important to establish and to build business credit as opposed to just using your personal credit, okay? Now, I want to tell you that there are some strategic differences in the way that business credit works from the way that personal credit works. So if you think I've got a handle on my personal credit and how that's all set up, maybe you do, but business credit works a little differently. And you're going to need to know these differences in order to get where you want to go. And that's what we're here to do, okay? So we're just going to give you a brief overview of the difference and then the reasons why. So I kind of hinted on one of the big reasons why you want to make sure to use business credit already, didn't I? So because you don't want anything to happen. Listen, 97% of all businesses fail, okay? They don't make it. So those are overwhelming odds against you automatically. Now, don't think that means that, well, you know what, I've been in business a couple of years and I didn't fail. You're not off the hook yet, okay? You got to make it about 10 years before you're considered a success by those standards, okay? Now, about half of the businesses will fail in the first 5 years, okay? So it's about a 50-50 shot of getting through your first 5 years, all right? About 20% fail in the first year. So that means that you can hang on for a year and then, bam, you go down in the second year, or the third year or the fourth year. So when I say 97% fail, don't feel discouraged because it doesn't mean that you can't make some money along that route. It might mean many things about why those businesses had failed. For example, maybe they just decided, I can't do this business anymore and I want out. That doesn't mean they weren't profitable. Maybe it just wasn't right for them, right? And so they closed their doors. It could also mean that they got in over their head, right? It could also mean that maybe they just struggled too much with everything that they had going on, There's so many things that affect a business in the first 10 years. So 97% of them are going to close within the first 10 years. If your business is longer than 10 years old, congratulations, you have been considered now a profitable business. You've been considered now to make it, okay? But it's a long time to wait. So you have to prepare yourself, get ready for it, and make sure that you hedge your bets, right? So we're going to talk about business credit, okay? The best thing to do to hedge your bets is make sure that you're not tying yourself into that business, okay? So you can do lots of things to build your business credit. For example, maybe you're looking for a new car. Let your business buy it, right? Finance it through the business, and then that will pay. But what you need to make sure is that they're willing to report it to the business credit bureaus. Now, who are the business credit bureaus? Well, there's 3 of them. Just like there's 3 credit bureaus for the personal credit, which are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. There are 3 for business credit, the most important of which is Dun & Bradstreet. Okay? Dun & Bradstreet specifically deals with business credit and nothing else. Okay? Nothing else. The other 2 are Experian and Equifax Business. Okay? So those 2, they deal with multiple things. They deal with loans and stuff like that, and they're big into pushing RMP offers, referral marketing. They'll refer you out to their partnership so they can make some money off you there. Dun & Bradstreet doesn't do that. They do everything in-house. So they are a single source for straight business credit. Okay? So when a creditor is going to look at your business, the number one place they're going to look is Dun & Bradstreet. Okay? D&B. So it's important when building business credit to establish a Dun & Bradstreet account. Okay? And you're going to start by getting what's called a DUNS number. D-U-N-S. Okay? And if you've never heard of a DUNS number, it's simply an account number for Dun & Bradstreet. Okay? And you can get it for free for your business. All you got to do is go to Dun & Bradstreet and look it up and say, hey, I need a DUNS number. And they'll say, okay, give us information about your business. Chances are they'll already be able to pull up your business from the state records. So when you type it in there, they'll match it with the state records and say, is this your business? You say, yes, it is. Okay, here's your DUNS number that we're going to assign to you. Now, you may already find you have a DUNS number assigned to you before you've even done this. And that's not uncommon. If that's happened, good job, because that means somebody's reporting to Dun & Bradstreet about your business already, and Dun & Bradstreet has gone ahead and established you a DUNS number. So, hey, good for you. You're on your way, right? So the Dun & Bradstreet works on a Paydex score, okay? It's a 100-point system. And it just basically says how much they think you're worth as far as your ability to repay your debts, right? But they also look at your delinquency predictability, okay? Your how many times you screw up, right? And they give you an overall rating. They also will provide credit limit recommendations based on those numbers. So what you're going to find, all right, I don't want it to freak you out. Let's say, for example, you've been in business for a year, maybe 2 years, and you've never established business credit, and you're just going to start now. Okay? You're going to go out there and you're going to do this. You're going to get a DUNS number. You're going to set up your account and everything else, and you're going to take a look at what Dun & Bradstreet says. And you're going to say, well, you know, I've always paid my bills on time. I've done everything right, and I'm going to be in good shape. And you're going to find Dun & Bradstreet is going to consider you a very high risk. So then your business credit report with them is suddenly going to be looking not good, right? Well, why is that? When you pay all your bills on time? Because they weren't being reported, right? They don't have any history on you. So as far as they're concerned, you're a brand new business. You're going to have to, apply some things. Now, you can update that information with them. You can give them that history. You can do all those things, and you can change all that stuff back down. So don't let it wash you out. Don't let it worry you, okay? But you can get where you want to go. All right? Let's talk about Equifax. Equifax business is very similar in the fact that they also do things based on evaluations and risk factor scores, okay? But the scores are not the same as they are for your personal credit. So Equifax is going to look at things from the perspective of a score as well, but it's going to be based on some different ranges. For example, your credit risk score will range from 101 points to 992 points right now. Okay? Lower scores means higher risk. So you're going to go over there and you're going to find you got like, 150 or something like that, or maybe a 200 when you get started. That's not a problem, all right? It just means you're a new business and you're establishing business credit. It will take some time, but this is your credit risk score because they don't know anything about you, okay? And as some time grows, just like with your personal credit, it will grow as well and you'll be good to go. Make sure you pay everything on time. They also have a payment trend index, okay? And the payment trend index will track how good you are at paying your debts over the last 12-month period. Okay, so they're going to be evaluating it from the time you establish it for 12 months, right? And then you're going to have a good payment index number. That's going to go into your overall credit risk score. Then there's the business failure score, okay? And that is a prediction of how likely it is that your business will fail within 10 years, okay? And it is prorated down by year. So it's going to be a higher percentage of failure assigned for the first 12 months, a slightly higher percentage for the first 24 months. You see how that works? Okay? So think about it. For the first 12 months, you're going to have a very low number here because you have a high risk of failure. Because what did I tell you about the failure rates? 20% go down right up front. Boom. And so that's a huge amount of people. So they're going to go ahead and rank you from 1,000 points, I think it is, up to 1,600 points, something like that. All right? So 1,600 means we think that this is a good, solid business. It's not going anywhere. All right? 1,000 is we don't know enough information, but it's in the first stages. It's probably not going to make it because statistics say so. So it's all algorithm based. They're making a mathematical equation to determine your fate, essentially. But again, not trying to scare you. These things will improve as long as you do right. Now, let's talk about Experian, because Experian is the most difficult to understand sometimes because they do things quite interestingly. Okay? So they're going to collect information from your suppliers as well as your lenders, just like anybody else. But they're also going to be looking at public records, legal filings, things like that, and government contracts that you may or may not have. So if you have government contracts, how have you been working with the government? How have you been doing those things? They're going to take all of that stuff into account, and then they're going to assess you a score on a risk basis based on some smaller numbers, right? So you're going to have like a 0 to 15 is your high risk mark, okay? So if you find yourself at a 12 or a 13 starting out, that means they're not sure about you, okay? Then you have a 16 to a 30, which is your medium mark, where they're saying, okay, there's some risk here, but so far it's being managed. All right, then you got 31 to 80, which means these people are taking care of their stuff, but they're within the first 2 years. Where 50% are going to go down within the first 2 years, so that's very risky if somebody wants to lend you money, etc., right? Okay, and then you have 80 to 100, which means there's not a lot of risk. They feel confident to say this is a good, decent business, and it pays its debts on time. Okay, so that's how Experian ranks its numbers when it comes to business credit. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, well, I know that if I screw something up on my personal credit, I only got 2 years until it goes away, right? In 2 years, it's going to go away. I don't have to worry about it anymore, Well, that's not actually true. It doesn't go away. It stops affecting your score, but it doesn't go away. It shows to all your creditors for up to 7 years, by the way. But let's not worry about that because today we're talking about business credit, okay? So let's take a look at some information, how it differs from your personal credit. So like your personal credit, that will stay on your credit report for 7 years. But with your business credit, okay, it's going to stay on there for only 36 months, 3 years. Okay? And then it drops right off. Now, a bankruptcy will go up there for almost 10 years, which is pretty much the same as your personal credit. Judgments are almost 7 years. They're like 6 years and 9 months. Okay? So if you have a judgment against your company, that's going to be on your credit report unless you can get them to remove it, which it's probably not going to happen. Judgments stay on there. So if you've got a judgment on your company right now, what you need to do is you need to get a credit lawyer to help you, a business credit lawyer, to give you assistance, or hire a consultant who can help you, such as my company, for example, Atlas Business Consulting. So that's what we do for our clients. We have some clients right now that we're working with where we have had judgments removed for them. So that's really good. It's not an easy process, though, folks. It's better to not have the judgment to begin with. So if you have somebody threatening to sue you, work that crap out beforehand. Okay? If you have gotten yourself over your head in your business on a merchant cash advance, then work that out before it gets to a judgment process, because they can just go in there and get a judgment against you without even telling you it's happened. So you need to be in constant communication with them and keeping them in the loop. Now, there are things when it comes to merchant cash advances, and maybe we'll talk about those in the future, that you can do if you're over your head in the merchant cash advance. If that's something you want to do, go ahead and just put it in the comments and let me know over at theleadertree.com that you want to know more about the merchant cash advance options that you have if you're over your head. All right, because there are things you can do to reduce the amount that they're taking from you, reduce the amount that you owe, things like that. Okay? So let's talk about UCCs. What is a UCC? It is called the Uniform Commercial Code. And basically what a UCC is a filing on your business that says somebody lent you money and they want their money back. So they put a lien on your business until you give them their money back. And it will basically cover all your accounts, all your equipment, all your real estate, everything you got, right? They'll take the whole business until they get their money back, right? So that's if your business fails and they don't get their money back, okay? They can use that to get judgments against you. Tax liens are 6 years. Collections are 6 years and 9 months. Dealing with the banks, with leasing property, government stuff, that stays on there for about 3 years and then it all drops off. Okay, so you want to be constantly working on building up the business credit, minimizing how much you're using your personal credit, so things like that. Now you're going to also find that between report and report, so Dun & Bradstreet may report one thing, Equifax business might report something else, right? And Experian business might also report something else, okay, about the same account. That's not uncommon. You can true those things together just by making an email to them and letting them know, say, hey, this is inaccurate information, this is what it should be, yada, yada, yada. Then they'll go through and verify that independently, and once it checks out, they'll update their records, okay? Your personal credit. Let's back it up. Your personal credit will most likely always be some sort of a factor, though, even if you're using your business credit to do things. Okay, so like I'm saying, you want to use your business credit. You want to get your vehicles under your business credit name. You want to buy real estate under your business credit. You want to do all these things that you're sure you're going to do. You want to establish lines of credit. You want to do all those things, okay, under business credit, all right, so that you can build that and minimize the impact to your personal credit. Now, a lot of places will still take your personal credit into account because what they're wanting to do is they're going to want you to do a personal guarantee on it. Personal guarantees can be waived if you have a good enough DUNS account, right? If your credit worthiness is good enough on your DUNS report, you can convince a lot of lenders to waive that personal commitment, right? Which means you're not attached to it at all, just the business. So that's important, okay? You need to make sure that if any way possible to avoid going out there and getting your personal credit used as a guarantee and your personal assets used as a guarantee for a business loan, you do that. Because why? Businesses fail through no fault of your own sometimes. Now, a lot of times it's, user error. You screwed something up, I'm not immune. I screw things up all the time. Last month, for example, I put out an ad for something that I wanted to do, and I forgot to attach the email chain that attaches to it, right? So here I had like 65 different applicants that nothing went to. That's a waste of money. Now, I went back later on, I salvaged a couple of them, but I lost momentum, and momentum is key, right? So, I make mistakes, you make mistakes, we all make mistakes, and that's fine. Don't let it bother you, don't let it get you down, but recover from it and move forward, okay? So, hey, folks, this has been fun. I want to tell you, if you have any questions, then feel free to reach out to me at any time. I look forward to chatting with everybody all the time. But I want to just go over real quick what your personal credit can affect your loans by. Okay, so your personal credit is broken down like this, right? 35% of it goes to your payment history, how well you've been paying your debts, right? 15% of it goes to your overall length of credit history that you have. 30% of it goes to what type of debts you have. Do you have a mix, or are you like, I only got 2 credit cards? You know what I mean? Do you have credit cards and a mortgage and a car loan and, things like that? So if you have a healthy mix, they're going to score that higher, okay? Because that's 30% of your overall score. All right, only 10% of it goes down to the type of things that you got going on at any given time. And then 10% of it goes to how many people are looking into your credit for the purpose of getting money, right? So, for example, if you apply for a loan, that's going to ding your credit with what's called a credit inquiry. And 10% of that goes into it, right? So, these are the different scenarios of stuff. So, if you want to improve your credit score on your personal credit, then what you want to do is work on some of these categories, right? So payment history, why does that improve your credit score? Because 35% of your overall score is calculated into your payment history, right? But let's just say, for example, that's not something you can fix, right? Because once you've screwed that up, you've screwed that up, right? You can also get a different type of debt, right? You can get a different type of something, and that will improve your score. So if you didn't have a mortgage, for example, get a mortgage, and now your score is going to go up automatically. If you didn't have a loan, but all you have is credit cards, get a loan. Now if you want to get a loan and you don't want to spend a fortune on it, get a CD or something like that has a small interest rate. I don't know what the CDs, I think they're like 10% now. But let's say you get a 1-year CD, and then you go out and you get a loan for a 1-year loan, and you get it at like 14%, something like that. Okay, at the end, the money that you make on the CD, you get the same loan amount on the thing, right? So you get the CD loan, you get the CD over here, and then you get the loan for the same amount over here, right? So this is going to pay you 10%. This is going to cost you 14%. In the end, when it all comes together, the CD pays off over here and you close it out. The loan is paid off over here. You've made your payments every month. You close it out. And now you've only paid 4%. You know what I mean? Because you got your 10% over here to offset the 14. You've only paid 4%. So this is how you can use something like that to fix a problem. All right. Another way is just to call them up and say, hey, can you do me a favor and remove this from my credit? You know what I mean? I usually pay on time. I made a mistake and I got this thing on my credit report. I don't want that to stay there for 7 years. Do me a favor, huh? And they may do that for you, you know? So your personal credit score, along with your business credit score, is going to be weighed by your creditor for your business. And they're going to say, I'm willing to do this deal or I'm not willing to do this deal. There are places that will sucker you into something called an MCA, which stands for a Merchant Cash Advance. I don't ever recommend those, okay? All right, as a consultant in the business industry, I do not ever recommend getting into an MCA. But if you're in one, you got to get out of it safely, okay? It's not considered a loan, which gives them a lot of power over your business, okay? And we'll talk about that another time. If you want me to do that, go to theleadertree.com and leave a comment on this video to let me know that you wanted me to broach the topic of MCAs. If you don't, if it's not something anybody really cares about, I won't bother. But you guys have had a fantastic experience on my life, and I've enjoyed being part of this show. I've enjoyed giving you the leader tree and bringing it to you, and I've enjoyed the comments and the friends that I've gained out of it. So anything you need, just leave a comment somewhere or write an email to us. I'll be more than happy to do a segment on it. But until then, I'm Chris Miller reminding you to always keep smiling. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, Chris Miller here for Atlas Business Consulting. And if you enjoyed the show today, and if you have things on your mind for your business that you want to discuss, I encourage you to reach out to us at atlasforthewin.com and let's talk about it. You can schedule an appointment to speak with me directly if you like, or anybody on my team. At Atlas, we are offering free consultations. So if you have been struggling to build your business credit, or you're having a hard time understanding what's going on with your business credit, give us a call. Let's talk about it. I'm more than happy to speak to you and figure out what's going on and help you get a plan in order to resolve it as quickly as possible. That's atlasforthewin.com. Look for us, because your business is our world. And if you've enjoyed our show today here at the Leader Tree, we encourage you to tune in to us every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. here at tw3radio.com. That's tw3radio.com, where we get together every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. to discuss important leadership development topics, as far as business topics that will impact your business. And sometimes we do interviews with business leaders in the area. The whole point is to make you stronger, more well-rounded leaders and business professionals. That's tw3radio.com every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We hope you tune in. For the Leader Tree, I'm Chris Miller, reminding you to always keep smiling.